Right, Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome back to Bonk Update, and we are ready for the next conversation regarding Bonk. So here it is, and I've mentioned some few days ago, a couple of days ago, that the best place to buy Bonk is when Bonk is oversold, and it has been historically backed up that when you buy at that place, it's actually the best place to buy. But I'm actually going to dig deep a little bit more. And before that, I'm gonna mention that in some few days, I'm about to make one podcast for beginners out there, people who are starting, because I'm sick and tired of the fact that I know one simple, very lazy way of you that you guys can learn and try to win trade. Definitely, I'm telling you this. I'm not even BS. I'm not throwing any BS right now. Truth being told is that I know for a fact that I can really, when as soon as I release this playlist video on how you can level up your game, right? And you use this whatever technique I'm going to teach you. It's not even technique. It's a whole educational concept. It's just whole. I'm not going to say it's a trick. It's just a technique, right? It's a technique. It's a strategy, you may say. And when you use that, anytime you use that, as long as you stick to it, I'm pretty sure you're going to lose less and you're going to win more. You're going to really win more. For me, it has been 100% successful all the time, right? So that playlist is going to have like 4 to 5 videos in the future. So if you're not following me, just follow me for that upcoming videos. So basic psychology, RSI breakdown, time frame breakdown, support and resistance breakdown, combining psychology, time frame with support and resistance. And the final video will have 5 to 10 live example. Now, I think one of them is Bonk. I've already talked about Bonk. So, I mean, if you even go with support and resistance, for example, now tell me, when in the blue world do you think if Bonk actually comes down all the way here and you purchased right at that support level on the daily time frame, and when you do come down there, you also have the RSI that is actually going to be oversold, and then the patterns are going to be oversold. Since when do you think you'll have high chances of losing this trade? Like, what are the chances you're going to lose that trade when you enter? It's not that much, right? It's not that much, but when you enter at resistance, for example, this is your resistance right here, and it has been hitting a couple of times, so many times. What are the chances for you when you saw Bonk some few days ago pumping up and you bought at the resistance that Bonk is going to go all the way to the upside? There's that 10% chance of actually seeing Bonk moving up. It's all about statistic. It's all about probability. So the probability here is very less to see Bonk continue to go to the upside. Yes, it is there. The possibility is always there, but it's very small compared to the failure of actually going up. And then you have the coin that can come down, right? And you can enter here. I would enter here on any given day. Let's say I am a beginner. Adam Coins is a beginner, right? And Adam Coins has some few checks. I'm gonna have my own few little bit more checks, right? I'm not gonna say that it's gonna come down and I'm gonna enter all of a sudden, but I will still have some few more checks on different time frames, and that's why one of the video is going to be about what? It's gonna be about time frame breakdown. So what do I do when I go into those time frames and look at those time frame? What kind of checks am I going to have to put on those time frames? That's why this video is gonna be really super important. And the thing is that, yes, again, when you see Bonk really making it all the way down, it just goes down. Put a little bit more checks. Look at the history of where, like, this is where I recognize the support is. I'm definitely going to be putting in my buying bid, and I will be more confident in buying the coin more than I will be more confident buying up here. Even buying at this place, to me, is just something that doesn't make a lot of sense. And to be very honest with you guys, the losses that I have been losing are when I used to like randomly have hope, based on hope, enter into a trade thinking that, yes, this is a little bit of a move down. Let's just enter into the trade. Maybe we will pump, maybe we will not pump. It's actually a good discount. you see a lot of strategies, The EMA guys are going to come in and they're going to say, okay, it's touching the 55 EMA, we're getting supported, hooray, let's trade the 55 EMA, this is the best support ever. If you lose, then it's going to go down, we're going to make bear cross and go down. You see, everyone has their own trading style, right? And some of the people are going to say what? Oh, let's go into the 1 hour time frame. Let's check the 1 hour time frame. So the 1 hour time frame here is looking like that. Oh, we have a little bit of a pattern. And if this pattern plays out, you do have this little bit of resistance and you have a little bit of ascending triangle. Now this is all fine, okay? This is still all fine. And if you break above that ascending triangle, then you have the possibility of looking at Bonk to go back to 4864. In the future, you may come back and you may see Bonk actually moving up here. And I will even still put my stop losses where? Maybe a little bit down here. I would actually put it at 3641. You can go on and try right now. You can do this. You can do it, right? It hasn't broken the ascending triangle, but if you just want to have a better stop loss at the moment, is if you enter now thinking that it's going to go up and you can win 26%. Go on, trade. It's 5%. Don't use too much money. Put $100. You're going to lose $5. That's it. Just to try if it works or not, right? But these come down when you're really experienced. These come down when you are absolutely you have been into the market for maybe 1 or 2 years and you understand your game perfectly well. You use different strategies, and the thing is that if you're a beginner, then what do? You wait for the prices. You kind of wait to see the prices pushing down to the absolute biggest discount when everybody else get afraid, right? The reason I'm telling you this is because that trade here, at least it's going to be the most safest trade where you don't really have to think too much. History really backs it up for you that yes, that's the best trade, unless you don't really lose the support, unless you don't go below the support and then you go to the downside. Now, for example, I had Nairo the other day. I know this video is a little bit long, but I'm just trying to make sure that you learn a lot in this one video, because why not? So with Nairo the other day, I took Nairo and I actually did take this on the private. So I'm going to show you the private. This is the paid version of where I personally take trades and I give you trades. I cancel a lot of trade. I love to take a lot of trades. So let's actually go back to Nairo and let me show you what Nairo was doing, and let's talk about it. So it's simple support resistance that I was doing right here, and I'm trying to go back. Let's really hope, yeah, I'm gonna get it. Just wait a second. All right, so this was Nairo, okay, and I recognized the trend line of Nairo, and Nairo that day came down to what? It actually came down to 17,199. This was a few days ago, so this was back right at this point right over here. So this was where Nairo really was, and then some few days later, you can see that Nairo actually did give almost like 32%. It actually pumped, but actually I got 20%, right? I got 20% win because I was very confident, and I told my members Nairo consolidates 3 days on average on that trend line before the massive pump. If not tomorrow, Friday should blast. Okay, it consolidates 3 days. What about Bonk? What is Bonk going to do? And before I even show you Bonk, keep in mind what I wanted to show you with Nairo is that Nairo finally lost the trend line. So if I do zoom in here, it lost the trend line, and that's not a good sign. Okay, this is not a good sign when you lose the trend line. As long as you're holding the trend line, that's amazing. So if we go back into Bonk, we can actually try to estimate what Bonk does. So for Bonk holders, I just want to help you out with understanding Bonk a little bit more better. So if you go on the daily, you may see that Bonk doesn't really go back up to this resistance line all of a sudden as soon as you... It doesn't mean you're going to come down here and the next day you're going to go back up, all right? But at least you do know from history that whenever you do come down there, how many pumps did you have? So this first pump, as soon as you came down, was 75%. This pump, as soon as you came down, was almost nearly 121%. This pump, as you came down, the next one was 63%. And another one, as soon as you came down, actually pushed it up for 200%. So you could expect at least 30% win as soon as you see Bonk coming down there. take the entry, because history says there's always a pump going on in there. And 30% is $300 if you're trading with a $1,000, man, right? So this is just a very small glimpse, and I'm gonna make a bigger bigger video tutorial coming up on Stupid Bitcoin, which is gonna teach you some few more combinations. So it's not just this. You're gonna combine RSI, you're gonna combine psychology, market psychology, even money management. How do you manage the risk, right? How much do you trade? How do you trade so that you lose less, you win more? It's just it's going to be designed for beginners only. Otherwise, I do have a 19 hours course that is totally going to go into depth with all the things. But to get started out, I think I'm gonna throw this one up for absolutely free. And that's all for the video on Bonk. Like the video if you enjoyed how you learned something new. And again, follow and wait until I don't really release that one. That's going to be one of the best videos if you really learn it. And I'm going to the next one. Love is.